Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope you're all doing well. Going to run through what I'm doing on this MLB slate. And any NBA questions, drop it in. I'm not really playing much NBA tonight. It does feel like the kind of game where Boston comes out and blows the doors off, but I still just can't get over the 10-point spread. And I'm going to, again, just take the heat when these situations arise because they can backdoor cover in a lot of ways. But also, I just don't. I'm not playing heavy. I've had a little bit of a negative run after a good playoff run for a while. So I'm just saving for a couple days here, and then probably get back out to the NBA next week. As far as MLB goes today, I'm going to read through my exposures and then we'll talk from there. My highest owned pitchers are Ryan, Alcantara, Snell. I have too much Martin Perez. I'm probably going to lower that. I have some Matt Boyd, but Joe Ryan and Alcantara being 1 and 2, and then Snell. I don't feel great about the Snell thing. I do feel like he could get away with it with his weird brand of getting way too deep in counts to get in this matchup. And I just don't feel good enough about that many other pitchers. So that's really why I'm using them. I don't have nothing crazy or bold to say about it. Just that's where I'm at. So that's my pitching core. My favorite stacks, I'm heaviest on Toronto, KC, White Sox mini stacks. But as full stacks go, KC, Toronto, Texas, Houston, and then the Mets for me. Don't mind minis of Atlanta, as I mentioned, the White Sox. I don't mind like a lot of other teams that I'm not getting to because I'm just not playing enough lineups, but the Cubs would be another one you can consider, Minnesota. I mentioned Houston, and then San Diego would be the one maybe you could go with it that maybe people aren't playing as much as they. I don't know, should is the right word, but certainly could take some shots against on San Diego here. Individual players, Salvador Perez and Jonah Heim are my highest owned catchers. First baseman, Vlad Guerrero, Pete Alonso, and Pasquantino, with a little bit of Andrew Vaughn. Second base, I kind of like some of the Detroit bats today, but I keep ending up with this one weird spot with McKinstry that I'm probably going to end up changing. But I do have a decent amount of McKinstry. Merrifield, Semien would be my favorite, but he's a little hard to get to price wise. Third base, Matt Chapman. I like Berger as a potential home run shot for the White Sox. Josh Jung. Don't mind, if you want to go super, cheapy. I don't mind if you want to take a shot on Jace Peterson in a little A's stack. Hunter Dozier is another one for super cheap. He's 2K flat minimum. Don't mind him both either in stacks or even as a one-off. I don't think he's the worst play in the world. Shortstops, Seager's my highest owned. Bobby Witt number 2, Lindor number 3. Outfield, Luis Robert, Dalton Varsho, George Springer, Gavin Sheets, MJ Melendez. And then I really like both, Tucker, Alvarez, and Julks. If you're going to play a Houston stack, those three seem to make sense in the outfield. I also like the Oakland outfielders as filler pieces, Laureano, Rooker, and Ruiz. So that's a little bit of basically everything that I'm doing. I'm going to do an updated build post here with my for the premium members and post what I've got right now. And so fire on in questions, fire on in thoughts. Let me know what you guys are doing or who you like, and I'll be happy to answer anything and discuss it. NBA, my favorite captain tonight. I do think this feels like a Tatum captain night where he tries to go nuts, but either Tatum or Brown would be my favorites. Probably not going to get to anyone on Miami as a favorite, but I do think Robert Williams is an interesting, allow you to get everything in with upside. Remember that the way to beat this Heat team is to really go big against them. And I think that that's actually going to work better than it did in game 1. So I think that we're going to see Robert Williams, whether he starts or not. I do like him as sort of a sneaky captain play. Good question, Chris. Why doesn't FanDuel have a better contest selection? It's a shame. I wish there was tonight. Thanks a lot, Jax. Appreciate the kind words as always. Really nice to hear anytime anybody has anything positive to say. So appreciate that. Good to see you as always, Joanne. I know we've got, I'll tell you, this has not been my week. not been my week at all for golf so far. I mean, look, there's still plenty of time left. I'm going to have some 6 of 6s. Maybe things can happen. It's just, man, this course got the better of, I feel like it got the better of me. Pretty crazy, man. Just nuts. Yeah, it's always fun. I love the golf, and I've really become like a fan of it. Where even if I'm not like deep in anything or whatever, I still tend to watch it because, especially for the majors, it's just great stuff. I think they've done a really good job with the storylines. I love the show they did on Netflix. So I'm officially a golf person now. Anyway, drop on in here with any questions. Oh, Scott McCarty's in here. What's up to my man? Good to see you, Scott. But that's what I'm doing. And really, it's one of those slates with the MLB where there's nobody I'm going to fault you for playing. I just think that everybody is viable. Like, I don't think there's anything I could just say, oh, that doesn't make sense. Like, really, like basically every single stack I feel that way about. I'm not obviously playing them. I picked out my 4 favorites, and then I'm really going heavy on those. But, man, there's crazy. Yeah, that's right, Hingo. There's always the weekend slates. Interesting question, Brooklyn Juice. No, I just think that it was just a misrun company. It probably got a little bigger than they were able to deal with, or a little too soon. We'll see how their other new endeavor goes. When you get the greed at the top, it's going to be tough. But I don't really want to talk smack about anybody. I'd rather focus on what we can do to try and make money in DFS and what the true DFS people can do. Not get into the run peer stuff if we can avoid it. Anyway, all right, drop in questions or thoughts. Anybody have any interesting golf sweats? I know I don't, but I'm sure there might be some of you who do. Unfortunately, I did have a number of guys at +6 with Ricky Fowler, Brian Harmon, Siwoo Kim, and they're going to miss. It looks like now. That's a little unfortunate. Wyndham Clark was so bad he couldn't quite recover. After day 1, Adam Aronk, another one at +7 that I was just not going to get there. Just a little bit tough, you know what I mean? And then I had a lot more ROM than I did the other. It's worked out well for me so far this year to have more ROM than the others. Wish it would have been Scheffler this time for me. Unfortunately, didn't go that route. I did play some Corey Connors. I'm well above the field on him, but I don't have enough of it. I really, I talked about it on our show that what do we think about some of these Canadians, and kind of wish I would have stuck with some of my Canadian takes. I know that they didn't end up like perfect, but Taylor Pendrith, top 10 right now. Corey Connors tied for first at the moment. You also have Adam Hadwin's going to make the cut, as is there was another. Who was the 4th Canadian? Where did Svensson go? He was doing well for a while. Yeah, he's still even. Yeah, he could be top 10 by the end of the day. So the Canadians definitely showing up here. And unfortunately, I picked a bad week to stop playing Caleb Tarrant. Ship it. That one is the new one. We'll see how it goes. I appreciate it, Brooklyn Juice. You know me well enough to read between the lines. That's it. You can read between the lines with me. I trust it. I trust you reading between the lines with me more than I do most people. We have a long history of chatting on these things, and one of these days we're gonna have to grab a beer or something. Yeah, that +5 cut line is just got me. I actually thought it was gonna go to +6 or 7 today. I'm kind of surprised that it didn't, but that is what it is. Unfortunately, I'm basically, gonna hope for some miracles. This has happened to me before, though. I had like 1 6 of 6 that in the PGA Championship that one time, and the Players Championship, and I still almost won the million. So you can sometimes get away with it if you got some low on pieces, which of course I do. I think my best millionaire maker lineup right now has 3 guys sub 1%, and they're all clean. Matt Wallace, Bo Hostler, and Justin Suh. I have 10% of Justin Suh. I guess that's my best play, but it's kind of hard because he's not putting up like numbers. He's just in the top 6. So hopefully at some point he can start making some birdies, but it's hard to make birdies on this course. It is weird to see a guy though with 3 birdies, and it's bizarre that he's only got 1 bogey so far. I mean, there is nobody else other than Scheffler who's put up anything like that. I mean, Scheffler, this is just ridiculous. The guy's just a monster. If he plays his best golf, it's just really hard when he or Rahm are on to have a chance against them. I appreciate that very much, Brooklyn Juice. We'll see about the Ship It Nation. There's a couple of other people who I am friendly with over there. So we'll see. Good luck to them and better luck to us, hopefully. Anyway, I appreciate all you guys very much, and I will be in the premium Discord for the rest of the night if there's no more questions. Oh, here we go. Thoughts on Twins 5-man. I'm totally fine with it. As I was saying, Scott, there's a lot of stacks I can't just write off, and I think the Twins are completely viable. So I'm totally good with it. I didn't get to many of them myself, but I'm totally good with that stack. Also totally good with the Cubs stack. I just didn't get to either of those two. Those are the two that are just on the outside looking in. I don't like to play. I always like to say this. I'd rather get a few different variations of my stacks rather than trying to get. Oh, Rom's getting a little something going. I'd rather get a few little different variations of my stacks than try to get every stack. Yeah, this is a good question, Rich. I do think that Lakers. I actually have been impressed with how they've played. I thought that they needed to win last night, and I felt like they probably should have won last night. Just AD couldn't hit a three. I'm sorry, LeBron couldn't hit a three, and AD couldn't hit a shot. It's pretty incredible these bench performances they get basically nightly. That just a guy has just an out of control, amazing game, and you can't waste those too much. I think they've actually looked pretty good. I've liked the way they've competed in the games. I think likely they win game 4. I wouldn't be surprised if Denver won in 5. I also wouldn't be surprised if it went 7. And look, it's I don't want to get into the conspiracy thing and all that stuff. The NBA does not want, if they can help it, a Miami-Denver final. I think they would love to see the Lakers and Miami, but I think they'd really love to see the Lakers and Celtics, obviously. And I just feel like, and even still in the game so far, I do believe the Lakers are getting more calls than any other team would, and they are aggressive. They're playing into it. They're smartly playing into it. I think they're facing a better team, but they've got a bunch of guys who are really good to go with 2 stars, and I do think they can come back. I don't feel like my optimism level is as high as it could be, but I think they probably win this series maybe 1 out of 5 or 6 times. I actually think that's pretty reasonable, 20% maybe chance for them to win it. I didn't play the big one on FanDuel today, Brooklyn Juice. I had a little bit of some personal stuff I had to handle, and also I had I'm not on. I've had a 10-day negative run on MLB with a couple winning days in there after going through like a month of really good MLB DFS. So I just tend to pull a little bit back and not play the 3,300s for 100K in that situation. I would have played it if it was 250K for first, but I would have. I really appreciate that Brooklyn Juice. I really do. I don't think you're blowing smoke. We've had enough history where I know that you're genuine in what you're saying. I appreciate it. At least MPJ gets a ring. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. It's a little just. I want to believe more in the Lakers than I do right now, but I have been, for what it's worth. I think Darvin Ham has actually done a good job, and I think they've done a really good job with what they have. And I think they're going to be able to possibly run it back at some point. So we will see. Anyway, fellas, and ladies, I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to say good luck to everybody and good night. If there's no more questions, I will be in the Discord, the premium Discord. If you guys have anything, just make sure to tag me, because sometimes if it's just a general thought, I'm not going to see it. But if you do tag me, I'm going to respond as I'm able to. Every now and then I might miss one, but I'm going to do my best. I have to get that. So I'm going to say good luck to you guys and good night.